Good morning. Now we are entering to 10th class. Welcome, all of you. I hope you are preparing the whole materials, the systematic order. Okay. By next couple of weeks, you will get exam. So whatever we have already taught you, keep it in an order and study. And this module that already I think has been taught by teachers. And you know, everybody should go in a correct way to face the exam. Some people often ask me, sir, whatever time we spend, we cannot study. That is absolutely wrong, I think. You know, what all the people, those have succeeded in their life, have worked hard, and they have traveled on the very tired roads, as if our Abdul Kalam tells. He has written a lot of abbreviations. And recently I read one of his books, what is called Important Speeches. I think it is published by Madhrubhumi Books. And it is written there, he has given the life. What is meant by fail? He has different explanation on every word. He says he has no fail at all in the life. Fail is nothing. Fail is, he says, fail, F stands for first, A stands for attempt. And first attempt in fault. That he himself repairs what all things he has done. It is first attempt in all his learning. So first attempt in learning is a fail, he says. And he has given a lot of incidents for that in his life. You know, he became the director of ISRO when he was only 38. During the time, many efficient scientists were there. But during the time of our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, he was invited directly from VSC. And he explained, it is written in the book. He reported his senior officer, sir, how can I meet Prime Minister of India? I have only one shirt and one pants. And my chapel, you see, I have no safari suit and all that. How can I meet Prime Minister? But the superior officer told, don't worry, you go and meet her. But that confidence he got and went to Indira Gandhi's office. And he kept his chapel somewhere. It is written in the book, right? And all the security guards and every people who was watching what this Kalam doing, he has got just like a blade like a chapel was wearing. And he reported the officer, the much salary that he draws is not satisfied for his family. Being a scientist has no money to wear big dress like safari suit. But the moment he entered to Prime Minister's office, Prime Minister stood up. Look, asked Kalam, you sit down. You have kept a proposal in front of my office, and this proposal I like very much. And by this moment, I put an order that you are appointed as a director of ISRO. Look, Abdul Kalam one day, he was at the brink of tears. You know, during the time, no Prime Minister, no President has appointed a director of ISRO not below 60 years of age. Our Abdul Kalam got this director post during the time of 38. You know, he became the wonderful man in India. So he says, don't worry about failure. Whatever failure you face, F stands for first attempt in learning. It is only a learning. No, before that he had sent a very big rocket to the space. Unfortunately, it fell down in Arabian Sea. Look, he was very sad and reported to superior officer, sir, this is not the good job for me. I am going to resign from ISRO. Look, but he admits failure is not a problem. Like that, he finds another meaning for end. You know, end. Somewhere get. Everywhere end. E-N-D, end. What is the meaning he stipulates for end? Effort never dies. You take effort, then you will get everything. Means no pain, no gain. Like every class I repeat to give you a motivation to come forward. You study like that. And when you get free time, you just read some books are very useful to you. Preferably like Abdul Kalam's biography, like you travel through so many biographies. Anyway, we enter to unit number, we have a unit. How many units we have to study means module to study? We have 5 modules. We finished the second module and we entered to the 5th module, 2-3 topics already over. Again we went to say a 4th module and I gave you patterns of sentences. And this 4th module, 2nd unit, somewhat related to 1st unit, but again we have to study in a higher level. You might have heard about all the parts of speeches, right? All the parts of speeches you have studied. And now verbal pattern still there. What you studied in verbal pattern somewhat different in approaches. That area is called lexical items and auxiliary items. You know lexical items. It is related to nominal groups also. What is lexical? So lexical verb you have to concentrate. Lexical verb. What are these lexical verbs? Is somewhat related to all the verbal system that you studied in unit number 1 or what you studied in higher secondary level. What is called lexical verb as such that you have to prepare. Again I tell you, each unit is in a graded level. After studying 1st unit, 2nd unit, you go to 3rd unit, still you go to 4th unit, you will get more upgraded versions. Now we have lexical items, lexical verbs and auxiliary verbs. All that we make an effort to go through, these are the areas that which we are going to complete today. That is called TRV, INTRV, EICP, like it goes like that. 6 to 7 steps we have to follow. So what is meant by actually a verb? We make a serious discussion on verb. What you studied in high school, higher side level is okay. What you have studied in the last previous semester, okay. Then come to think about verbal item in an upgraded level. In what level that you get a very good information on verb. What is verb? First we think and we try to go by step and to finish. What is a verb and how you can define it? So verb, you know, we have S plus V plus O is the basic kernel elements of the sentence. It is reported I have taught you S plus V plus O from the beginning. What is subject, what is verb, what is object? And from these 3, you keep in mind, from these 3, verbal element is the most important one, significant one. Alright, the most important. Suppose anybody asking you which element from these 3 is important. You just placidly tell that it is the verbal element. Otherwise, we would say verbal element decides the correct meaning of a sentence. Verbal element without verb. Example, you write you eat an apple. One example, you write you an apple considered to be subject and object. This subject and object may be deleted from this sentence. But once you avoid verbal element from this sentence, sentence will go wrong. So, it is the important element what is called verbal item, or better to say, verbal element decides the correct meaning. So, anybody blindly asking you what is the significance of verb? Verb means very, very, very important element in a syntax, or by which, without which, you cannot decide the correct meaning. So keep in mind, verbal element is very important. And it has, now after defining this verbal element, you go to divisions. Generally, it is verb divide into two categories. Verb divide into two categories. It is not in the traditional grammar. It is not in the what you call your high school, higher secondary grammar. Once you come to the college level, particularly we refer university grammar book, or particularly we belong to Kukubaum's textbook, or Michael Swan's structured grammar book, then you will get the divisions, verbal element. That is what I mean, that you are now taken to the higher level, not in the lower level. What you have studied and kept under your custody is lower level. Now we slowly upgrading our knowledge. That is meant by college education. Once you come to college level, you should develop your brain in such a way that you should have high power of learning. So, verbal element is classified generally into two groups. One is called lexical group, or lexical verbal group. Second one is auxiliary system. What is called auxiliary system? Keep in mind that. So what did I tell you? Verbal element is the basic significant unit or significant element in a syntax. It decides the meaning of the sentence. Am I right? Then slowly we go to classification. That is the unit given in your module, lexical verbal system. What is meant by lexical verbal system? We are going to give you. It is lexical as a word, actually it belongs to the nominal group. But modern grammarians apply this lexical concept to the verbal item, where you get real comparison of nominal systems. I do remember that I have referred. Lexical means that is a literary, what you call connotatively we say lexical means which gives you a picturesque idea. Or what I would say, it will get you a picture. So maybe transformation generative grammar people, suprasentential grammar people apply this concept from nominal group and kept in the level of verbal group. So lexical means which gives you a picture. Alright. So we generally classify verb into two, that you keep in mind, lexical verbal items and auxiliary verbal system. Alright. Again, what is meant by lexical verb? Example we took a decorate. Alright, decorate. Alright, you will get a picture how you will do it. Then you take a jump, you will get a picture. So lexical verbal items, you just keep in mind WRIT, right? All these are considered. Otherwise, I would recommend you to keep in mind that those verbal items which gives you an action or which gives you a picture of an action in your mind can be considered lexical. So what I defined, it is a significant element and it has two divisions. One is lexical verbal division, another is auxiliary verbal system. Auxiliary verbal system, already that we taught you different types of sentences. When we reach the interrogative steps, inversion, insertion type, set of questions, we already taught you. Again, for the completion of the portion, it is called POX system and what you call MOX system. All right. POX system means primary auxiliary system. Auxiliary group, we just keep verbal element as such. We have one element is called lexical element. Then second element has auxiliary group. Auxiliary group further divided to two, what is called primary auxiliary group and model auxiliary group. All right. For which example, so it can be divided to 1 and 2. What is called primary auxiliary group is called do type, then be type, then have type. All right. Then model auxiliary example, may, can, shall, like these words. So what I have already explained. What is a verbal element? What is its significance? Then after that, how many general classification has been done for? One classification is lexical group classification. What is lexical group classification? Those verbs which have a picture in your mind can be considered as active verbs are classified under lexical. For many examples that you can show. On the other hand, another division is there, what is called auxiliary group. Auxiliary group has again two divisions. One is primary auxiliary group, which are labeled like do, be, have. On the other hand, we have MOX, model auxiliary group. So let us study step by step. Once we discuss the lexical group, we have to go through these steps. You follow me? So once we go to verbal group, lexical group, again these 7 steps you have to study. All right. First we go to lexical transitive system. All right. What is called lexical verbal system? What is called TRV step? Step number 1 is called TRV step. What is meant by TRV? TRV means transitive verb. All right. TRV means, it is abbreviated by TG grammarians. What is meant by TRV? TRV is transitive verbal system. What is transitive verbal system? It is based on, now look here, I'll take one example. The boys are, all right, playing on the ground. Look here, one example. The boy considered to be subject, are playing you consider to be verbal element on the ground. Presently we consider object. Actually it is adverbial phrase. This is playing, are playing, verbal element which is called we. This we is called what? This V is called, according to grammarians, modern grammarians, we call VGP. Again, this is a new label for you. What is meant by VGP? VGP means, please keep in mind, all these are the technical abbreviations by transformative generative grammar. Old grammarians or structural grammarians earlier called, this is called VPH. VPH. What is meant by VPH? Verbal phrase. What is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words. So please understand what is VGP. VGP means more than one verb appearing together. So consider in a sentence, once you get 2 words together to form a verbal group, that is called VGP. So in this VGP, we have two divisions. One is called R. R is called AUX, means auxiliary. R means auxiliary. Playing means participle. All right, participle. Participle coming here. Look. So, in a way or the other way, we can say from this sentence, verb is there. That verb is a group which is called earlier VPH. Now by modern grammarians VGP, what is called verbal group. In this verbal group, we have two words. One is are, one is playing. Again, after consider boys are playing taken into together as a component, we have two words appearing in the group. Then explain what is are. Are is auxiliary. Then playing, that is participle. Auxiliary plus participle combining together forms their VGP. That VGP decides the meaning of the sentence. Did you catch me? Do you understand me? So what is VGP? VGP points out a verb. A verb has more than one word. Or better to say, on the position of a verb, if there are more than one word appearing together, can be considered VGP. Earlier, according to structural grammarians, earlier it was VPH, verbal phrase. Supersentential grammarians call VP, only VP. So VPH became VGP and this VGP became again VP. Same things in the same bottle. Okay. So understand that S has a possibility of forming here S enjoyed by two words. The boys. You get S is equal to NGP. NGP means noun group. In the position of noun subject, there is a word is a noun attributed by article the boys means two words together standing. So earlier what we studied S plus V plus O now became NGP, VGP, NGP. Possibility here on the ground. 1, 2, 3 words together standing. Then you will get NGP. So we again discuss on what is VGP. VGP means in a sentence, suppose you have more than one word appearing together, you can consider it VGP. So verb is biggest element in VGP. That is what I am trying to say. So what is called VGP? VGP is appearing in a sentence with more than one word. So example, the man killed a snake. Example you take. The man killed a snake. Look here, the man, yes, is equal to NGP 1, 2, killed only we a snake. O is equal to NGP. Suppose we consider into develop into other way, the man has been killing a snake. Look here, has been killing 1, 2, 3. It has become VGP. VGP means verbal group, more than one word. What is the actual lexical word from this group? Lexical word is killing. What type of killing is that? Participle is there. Again we have to decide. I think that already taught you and you learned from the beginning, high school, higher secondary, even in our own syllabus that you studied well. But we've again searching and finding some more difficult areas that can be kept as a simple things in your language study. So lexical verb in particular you have to study in deep, then you will get to elicit so many examples. So what did I explain so far? I explained what is verb, how this verb is important, it has its vital importance in a sentence, and how these things can be identified. It is very significant and important. Am I right? Then classification. What classification is there? Verbal element has been classified generally into lexical item On the other hand, auxiliary system. What is auxiliary system? Which are important in order to develop a VGP or VPH. In order to develop a VPH or VGP, auxiliary system is compulsory, about which we discuss in next class. What is called auxiliary system, what are its uses, that is coming in the next chapter. So in the way of detailed understanding, we study this verbal element in this way. First one is TRV method. What is called TRV method? Now we are going to explain again how TRV method coming. Transitive verbal system. Transitive verbal system. Example, one example we call the same example. The man, all right, killed, all right, the snake. Example, you take same example, killed. Suppose you write only killed here. Suppose you write only killed here. Normally question coming, what did the man kill? Am I right? What did the man kill? A word is compulsory here. A snake. So keep in mind, TRV means a verb requires an object. If a verb does not require an object, is other way. But suppose you write so many sentences and this verb cannot stand without an object or which requires an object, is called TRV type of verbal items. What is called a TRV? Transitive verb. All right. Example. All right. Arya eats. All right. So many questions coming here. What does she eat here? Normally you write a mango. This mango, this eats. So TRV means TRV, that which requires an object. Is it clear to you? What a verbal element which requires an object is called TRV. TRV is suprasentential abbreviation. TRV, transitive verbal item. This is only for your convenience to keep in your brain, hard disk of your brain, right? So TRV stands for transitive verbal items. After the class, I will go by step to remind you which all the steps we have taken. Now TRV method, very simply keep in your brain a word which is a verb significant in a sentence if it requires an object. If it requires an object, is called transitive verb. Example, I took 2-3 examples. Okay, now look. Example, Alice made what? Alice made what? This is TRV. This is TRV which requires an object. A doll. Then it will become TRV, transitive verbal element. On this, so we studied what is TRV. Now go to INTRV. What is called INTRV? Intransitive verb. INTRV. Intransitive verbs. What is meant by intransitive? Simple. Already studied in the higher secondary level. Intransitive verb means no object required. We don't want to write an object. The sentence will be completed by the end of the verb. Example, simple example given. The man, look here, the man died. Finish. No requirement. Died itself is complete. In some grammar books, especially referred by suprasentential grammarians, this verb is INTRV is equal to VCP. Alright, it is written here VICP. That I will explain later. The same intransitive verb some grammarians call VCP. VCP means verb of complete predication. Predicate is completed by the verb itself. So keep in mind, INTRV may also be standing for VCP. Verb of complete predication. Its predicate is completed by the end of the verb. So some grammarians refer VCP. On the other hand, earlier from the traditional grammar to transformational generative grammar, people say INTRV, intransitive verb. How can you identify TRV from INTRV? Again, I repeat, TRV requires an object. Am I right? Then INTRV does not need an object. Example, the girl, one example, the girl smiled. Look here. Finish. The girl, S is equal to NGP, smiled. V, verb, what type of these? VCP or what is called INTRV. So technically TRV should have what you call an object, whereas INTRV you does not need an object. Then automatically we go to VICP. So INTRV over VICP. What is meant VICP? We will get certain auxiliary verbs. Look here. Some auxiliary verbs like is, then was, then are, then were, like this. So many auxiliary verbs you get in a sentence. Example, John is dash. Look here. This is coming as auxiliary verbal system. It is auxiliary verbal system. Belongs to B group. That will teach you later. But we use it like main verb. Here is main verb. What is meant by main verb? So many names given for main verb. Some people call it finite verb. Finite verb is main verb. Main verb is finite verb. So it is not auxiliary here using. What is actually meant by auxiliary? That will teach you later. Now at presently you keep in mind certain auxiliary words like is, was, are, were coming or have, do, like, have, has, have, been, had, been, like, all this coming here used as a main verb followed by. So here written is one word required here, but this is not acting word. This is not a TRV. This is not a INTRV, but this is a verb which belongs to auxiliary group. Am I right? So it is used as a main verb. A requirement of object is needed. You write a doctor. So before writing a doctor here, this was VICP. Verb incomplete predication. Verb incomplete predication. You write a doctor, object added, then automatically became VCP. Verb of complete predication. So the concept here, once you get an auxiliary not ended by object but sentence incomplete, you write an object there in order to complete the sentence. So before writing object it was VICP. After writing object it will become VCP. So this is the idea of VCP. VICP. How VCP coming VICP? This is a method that you get certain auxiliary verbs which are used like main verb, but object is not written. When the object is applied there, automatically it will become VCP. So third step over. So TRV step over, INTRV step over, then VICP step over. These are the significant areas of verbal elements that we study. Then third one is called complementary step. What is meant by complementary step? It is also related to our VICP method, complementary system. What is complementary system? That you studied when you refer to ADJ modifier. Example, the same method, you write John, all right, is. This John is, according to our stipulated rules, it was VICP because auxiliary used as main verb. no object written. We wrote here a doctor earlier. Now we are going to write a word what is called happy. This is not a nominal word. This is not a noun. This is only an ADJ. ADJ refer to John. Alright, this John is subject. Is verb. Alright, this happy stands for complement. Complement function. So in the VICP, sometimes you will apply instead of noun, you apply certain words which are modifiers, used as used as complementary. So this is called complement. So whatever words that you use in the object position which are not nouns, they refer complementary. So this is step over. Complementary step over. So we have so many steps like complementary steps, participle steps, then after complementary level, then you will get non-finite and what is called non-finite step. What is called non-finite step? Look very carefully, otherwise you lose your point. See, once you get a sentence, you get more than one word on the position of verb. Look here, example, I want to visit, alright, Taj Mahal, example here, I is subject, Taj Mahal is object, want to visit, here 1, 2, 3 words together, we call V is equal to VGP. Am I right? VGP means VP. VP means VPH. All these are referred to university grammar book and also grammar for colleges by Carroll, a technical book that once you get a chance you read that book. So he refers want to visit. Here are two divisions coming. One division, say, this want is called main verb. This is called main verb. This main verb you studied in high school, higher secondary, finite verb. This main verb is, want is main verb. To visit is called infinitives. Infinitive. Alright. This infinitive is called non-finite. Non-finite. Alright. Non-finite. So what is non-finite? Once you get a VGP, in this VGP, you will get more than one lexical verb. One verb will be treated as main verb. The other verb will be non-finite. So keep in mind what is called non-finite and finite. Some people have confusion what is finite. This is the finite verb. This is non-finite verb. Wants to visit London. So here groups of non-finite we have. This non-finite have lot of divisions. Non-finite as a verb we have lot of divisions. This is first one, this is second one. Alright, non-finite group. What is called infinitives? Infinitives. Once you get infinitives, you try to use. Example, to see is to believe. One example. To see, considered to be subject. Always in the subject position, nouns are applied. But here, to see is applied. So, this is called to infinitive. To infinitives. Alright, this is to infinitive. This is the main verb. Again, object position. All the object positions, nouns are applied. But here, to believe is applied. Again, this is to infinitive. To infinitive. So, infinitives, two infinitives can be written or kept on the position of subject and object where only nouns are expected to come. That is very important. Then participle, infinitives. So, infinitives. This after studying infinitives, application of gerund is very easy. To see. Example here, to see is to infinitive. This can be converted to gerund. This also can be converted to gerund. What is called gerund? Verbal noun. That is also another consideration here. Before participles we have gerund system coming. Gerund. Gerund means verbal pattern, verbal nouns. It can be converted to gerund. How? Avoid these two. You make it seeing. Alright, seeing. You put ing here. Then you use it on the subjective position. Seeing is believing. Alright. This is ing called gerund. Here also called gerund. So how this to infinitive can be converted to ing, can be kept on the position, either subjective position or objective position, you will get a gerund. So keep in mind, gerund and to infinities are always interconnected. How to change? We will take one more example to make you how to identify gerund from example. I'll give you one example. All right, to live is to love. Example. This is to infinitive. Is main verb. To love is to infinitive. To infinitive followed by verb. To infinitive objective position. Now consider converted to gerund. Simple. You write living is loving. It became gerund. It became gerund. So the same method can be applied. So infinitives can be applied to gerund, and we have another one. What is verb? This gerund is also used in modern grammar. Verbal nouns. Keep in mind, verbal nouns are other names of gerund. So dancing gives one pleasure. This is gerund. All right. Example. Dancing gives one pleasure. All right. What is called dancing is verbal noun or gerund. All right. Verbal noun or gerund, that you keep in mind. So ing word generally coming on the position of verbal element, which is the part of VGP. Sometimes it can be converted to, or it can be transformed to subjective position or objective position. Both will be called verbal nouns, what is called gerund. That you keep in mind. Then participle, a very important one. So some words are like we have phrasal verbal systems. We have phrasal verbal system. All right. After participle coming, again phrasal verb. What is called phrasal verb? It is a very big chapter, phrasal verb. All right. What is called verbal system? Phrasal verbal system. Very important. You know, certain words you have verbal items with which you apply certain preposition, you will get a different meaning. I'll give you example. Call. I call you. Example. We'll write I call you. I call you. Simple name. I call you. You come. Okay. But when I use I call on you, I applied on as a preposition with the verb. Then what will happen? What will be happening here? When I add a preposition with the call, meaning is totally changed. I call on means I visit you. Here simply call, but here application of on coming with the call is called visiting. All right. I visit you means what? Once the application of a preposition with certain types of verbs, meaning will be totally different and will have a different meaning. This is called phrasal verb. Again, I call up on you. Look here. The same main finite verb is not changing. Call. But I added a certain preposition. I added upon here. What does it mean? Call upon means invite you. I invite you. These type of verbs are called phrasal verbs. It has a long chapter that you have to cover upon that. Example, look after means protect. You write to look into. Once you apply into, look into, examine. So like give back, return. You look at an object. First you keep in mind. You look at an object. You look after your parents. Look after your parents. Look for your socks, not seen. Look for. Look up a word in the dictionary. Look, what all the words I used. At I used, after I used, for I used, up. Meaning totally different. So, what did I try to teach you today? Verbal element is important. This verbal element has generally two divisions, lexical, then what we call auxiliary system. And what all the importance of verbal elements coming, start from TRV, INTRV, VICP, complementary function, non-finite and gerund function, infinitives, then participle. Then again, different kind of phrasal verb. Again, one small element is there, what is called inflection, will be continued in next class. Thank you.